Assalamualaikum and welcome to a new video in the poetry and calligraphy series. In this playlist we take a line of poetry in Arabic and we write it in a script to practice that script. In today's video we are going to write the following poetry line. لولا المشقة ساد الناس كلهم الجود يفقر والإقدام قتال. If it wasn't for hardship, then everyone would dominate. Being generous bankrupts you, basically, and being courage kills you. So that's why it's hard to be something of value or someone of a value in this world. Now, today's video is going to be Naskh script. So we are using a 2mm pen, and you can see here the cut is quite different from the Ruqa one, so make sure that you are using the right pen. And I'm using a Jawa pen. It's a bit hard, so make sure that Jawa is suitable for you, or choose a pen that you like. So we will start with Lawla, which is basically a lam and a waw. Before that we are going to put 5 points of height, just to make sure that our eye gets the dimensions that we are going to work with. Now the pen is a bit small, so stay focused. We start with the lam, which is a move like this for the decoration, the hilya. Then we go down with a vertical movement. Now when you move down in Naskh, you have to keep the pen a bit vertical. You need thickness, but the letter itself has to be thin. Now we reach down here, we're going to do the connection to the waw, and for the waw we go up, but we don't go up really high because it's a connected one, so that when we connect it, it gives us this nice shape. We extrude it a bit down below, so that when we go back, it will give us this nice shape. Now you could add the scale for the waw down here, but if you know how to write it, there's no need for that. Now the end of the waw, as you can see here, we have a rotation of the pen. So when you write this waw, you basically go down and then you rotate the pen. So Lawla al-mashaqqa. The lam alif, again we do like a lam move, but here we have to go to the left, and rotating the pen we end up with this thin thin line. And once we go back with the rest of it, this part you sort of bring up a bit, just like this. It's kind of half a point of inclination. Then the alif in the lam alif goes down more than the lam itself, and when you go back here, the pen sort of rotates so that it gives you this really sharp end of the lam alif. So the lam alif is basically starting with a thick part right here, then coming back, but when you come back here, you rotate the pen so that it gives you this thin line, so that when you connect it to the second part, gives you this nice shape. And of course the lam would be coming from this side. So Lawla al-mashaqqa. The alif again is tricky in this script because it has to be thin, but again it has to have two curves. And Lawla al-mashaqqa, as you know, if it wasn't for hardship, everyone would dominate. So to learn calligraphy, you need to be patient. Now here I used this meme that goes down with the lam, and when we connect it to a scene, you sort of end it with this nice touch so that it connects neatly. Now here we have the sheen, and followed by a qaf. Keep an eye on the qaf to have this sort of shape in it. Now the tam marbuta, you will have to rotate the pen when you go up so that it gives you this nice curve. If you haven't rotated the pen, it will be thick. And here we will do this move, then go up, then rotate back to get the ta marbuta. So if it wasn't for hardship, everyone would dominate, and that is really true, quite true in calligraphy. Calligraphy is easy if you put time in it, but if you thought that you will be learning it without effort, that's a foolish idea. لولا المشقة ساد الناس كلهم. Now with regards to the scene, some calligraphers do this move, the upward move, not curving upward. You will find some people curve it the other way around, just like this, as you can see. So both are correct, but it's about the taste and the style. Now here with the scene, I am going to elongate it a bit, and at the end here for the alif, I'm going to add the fatha for the scene with the alif, just like this. Sada. Now the dal is something that you are used to. Sada الناس كلهم. الناس alif lam. Again with this small kick of the letter, you get the nice connection between the noon and the alif. And up here I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to add a key down here just to make it look nice. And the dots in the Naskh are square shaped, so keep that in mind. Now we have a scene, which is easy, lovely letter. You go up, you come back, and you finish it. Now when you finish it, you keep an eye on the cup here. It has to be sort of flattish, but it's not really flat. So as you can see here, you have some rotation downward in it. لولا المشقة ساد الناس كلهم. Here we have a kaf and a lam, so they will be connected, and the kaf would be kind of short. And again, when you want to rotate for the lam, you start rotating from the middle before you reach the lam. Now here we have a lam, ha and mim, so I am going to use the normal ha, and going back. Go back to the hat and see how it looks like. Because you have several shapes of the hat, so for example I used this one. Meanwhile you could use another one that could suit you more. And with regards to the meme, I could simply use this one that closes on itself and comes down to here. And the cap for the hat, of course. Now when you do these letters, you could start from here, see how much space you need to add the cap for the kaf. So here we have the first line. لولا المشقة ساد الناس كلهم الجود يفقر والإقدام قتال. So الجود, we have an alif. Lam and Jim, I am going to use this one. And here's something that I want to talk about with regards to the Jim and the Waw. So here you can see that you've got a curve coming with the Jim itself. So, and the Waw is sort of circular, just like this. Now, it's really nice if the Jim came with it, so you can see this sort of rotation. And this way, when you come back with the Jim, this sort of closes on the Waw. And you could go back and start looking into and focusing on the scripts you see in the Quran. If it was written in script, you'll find that calligraphers really put these things in mind, because they do add a pretty look to the script itself, makes it alive. The same thing goes for the dal. So for example, I am going to have the dal here, but I want it to stop with the waw down here. الجود يفقر, I have a ya and a fa, so I am going to lift the ya up a bit. The same thing goes for the fa with regards to the shapes here, close to each other, looking neat. You could add the dots at the end You don't have to add the dots once you finish with the letter itself. Now with regards to the fa here, I'm going to elongate it, then I'm going to add a qaf. And the reason for this is because I don't want to have those two really close to each other. So the fa is a letter based on a ba, so you could elongate it that long. With the qaf and the ra yufqiru, you could add this ra. You could fix this later by erasing it to get the real shape of the ra. So al-judu yufqiru. وَالْإِقْدَامُ قَتَّالُ. Now here you have a ra, so the waw might go up a bit to fit it in. وَالْإِقْدَام, you have an alif. Lam alif, and for this one I am going to use the other shape that goes about, comes down, rotates and goes back, just like this. And you could go back and check for the details on this letter. And the qaf, I'm going to have it a bit to the left here because I don't want the dots to bump into the alif, the lam here. So dal, and here we have two dots for the qaf, and the alif here I could have it sticking to the dal really thinly. The meme, I'm going to use a small meme, this one, the one that half the thickness up, but then you come back here and you add a small tail to it. وَالْإِقْدَامُ قَتَّالُ. Qaf and ta, so I am going to use this shape, and for the ta I'm going to add a long ta. The nice decoration up here so that I have good space for my ta, and to balance it with the first part of the poetry line. Finally, I've got my lam that goes below the line, and you end it with a nice noon shape. Now here I had too much ink on the pen, so if that happens to you, you could come to the side and sort of do a dot so that when you write you get a good amount of ink, but is good enough to write the letter instead of having a big amount of ink here. So this was with a 2mm pen. I could change into a smaller pen and add the harakat. I'm going to do this quickly. لولا المشقة. Here you have a shad, and here you have a dam. Sada, this is already a fatha, so I'm not going to add anything up here. Sada الناس كلهم. Now this is tricky because it has a shad and a dhamma. Now, with regards to this, you should use a 0.5mm pen, but I've got 1mm here with me. Al-judu yufqiru. You've got a fa, a kasra, dhamma. Wal-iqdamu sukun. قتالو. Here you have a shadda, but you have enough space to add a long fatha. And here you have a dam. You could add some decorations, for example, up here and here if you had some space. But yeah, with regards to the dam, I'm writing it really quickly, but what you have to do is to make it look like a sort of a wow. Then down here you're gonna add a nice touch to it. So this is how the dam looks like, but I want to write it quickly so that the video won't be that long. But yeah, this is basically how a dhamma looks like. So you should write this one, but I wanted to show you where the harakat comes so that it'd be easy for you to practice it at your own pace. So yeah, this is for today's video. We have this nice poetry line: لولا المشقة ساد الناس كلهم الجود يفقر والإقدام قتال. If it wasn't for hardship, everyone would dominate, because being generous bankrupts you and being courageous kills you. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next ones. Have a lovely day. This has been Ammar Awadi. Goodbye.